In this video, let's learn about the cosine law and get some practice with how to use them. So before we start this lesson, I'd like to encourage you to watch the sine law video first if you haven't already done so, as it is usually taught before the cosine law. Otherwise, let's dive right into our first example. So in a situation like this, we cannot use the sine law in order to further solve the dimensions of this triangle. And why is that? Because the sine law is used when we have the information for at least one pair of opposite dimensions like so, along with either another angle or side length. In this case, we have the information for one angle and two side lengths, but none of the provided values are opposites from each other, meaning that we are unable to use the sine law to find the other values here. Well, this is not a problem since the cosine law is what can be used in this exact scenario. When we're provided with two side lengths and one angle in between them, we can use the cosine law to find the side length opposite to that angle. So, let's take a look at what the cosine law actually looks like. So here is the cosine law. And as you can see, there are three different versions of the formula. However, they are in essence all the same, since two of the forms are just rearrangements of the cosine law to show the formula in terms of each side. So let's go ahead and choose one of them and try solving the example that we saw earlier. Alright, so since our objective here is to find the value of A, we need to start by plugging in the angle opposite to A, which is 67 degrees, into the cosine of A, and we'd get cosine of 67 degrees here. Now, we still have B and C to fill in, and since we have the information to the two sides besides this angle, we can plug 12 and 10 into the two B's and C's here, and we'd get the following. Simplifying this would give us A squared equals 144 plus 100 minus 240 times cosine of 67 degrees here. Computing the right side gives us roughly 150.22, and all we need to do now is square root both sides to get a final answer of A equals roughly 12.26. Great! So we just said that when we have two sides and an angle in between, we should use the cosine law to find the side length that is opposite to the known angle. However, there is another interesting situation where we can use the cosine law that we should probably go over before we conclude this video. Let's say we were given this following triangle. What if the question asks us to find the value of angle B? How would we do this? Again, this is definitely not the time to use the sine law, since we don't have any angles to use at all. But since we're provided with the values of three sides to a triangle, we can in fact use the cosine law here as well. So let's try this example to explore this idea further. So since we want to find the value of angle B, let's use this version of the cosine law. So we plug in 5 for B, since it's the value opposite to the angle that we're looking for, and plug the two other side values into their respective variables, and we're left with cosine of B as our unknown, so our objective is to isolate it. So let's simplify this to get the following, and add 49 and 64 to get 113. Add both sides by negative 113, and divide both sides by negative 112. So this gives us cosine of B equals to 88 over 112. All we need to do now to get the value of angle B is to take the inverse of cosine 88 over 112. And we get the angle B equals to roughly 38.5 6.21 degrees. So there's our answer. Awesome. So to sum it all up, we can use the cosine law whenever we're provided with either two side values with an angle in between to find the value of the opposite side to the angle, like so. Or when we have the values of all three sides to a triangle to find any one angle in this triangle. So now you know how to use the cosine law to help you solve some questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.